wanted to share with you briefly some ideas around a theme that we're seeing, which is the importance of organizations owning their own intelligence. The short message is that if you look at traditional digital transformation, a lot of the value that was created in the marketplace actually went to the vendors. So we gave them transactions, we gave them cloud access to data. We gave them, all kinds of infrastructure that now belongs to the cloud providers. But I really think that it's dangerous as we go up into the intelligence layer, which is where we're heading with Gen AI and going from unstructured to semi-structured data and so forth to do that. I just love Midjourney here. This is I just asked it for an image about owning your own intelligence, and this is what it came up with. Uh, who won in digitization? If you really look at it, the big six tech stocks, this is, since 2022, compared to the S&P 500. And then and as you may know, the big six tech stocks now represent over 25% of the entire market capitalization. So if we step back and look, they really have extracted tremendous value from businesses, and they've convinced businesses not to vertically integrate into technology, which Alan Kay, the creator of the Dynabook and the inventor of object-oriented programming and the first employee at Xerox PARC, always thought, if you have commodity tools, which is what the vendors give you, you will have you'll have commodity productivity. You won't be able to really change the way that you work. And if we look and we say, what's the source of this value? If we can go to the next one. I wrote an article with a friend, Miles Everson, some time ago in a magazine called Strategy and Business, and said, look, if you look historically, there are three forms of capital: human capital, financial capital, and natural capital. In the digital realm, was three new forms of capital: cognitive capital, behavioral capital, and network capital. And we've given away for free services our network capital and our behavioral capital, right? Exactly what your behavior is tracked all the time. That's what Meta sells when it sells it to a CPG company and so forth. It also sells your network. Now we're going to the point of cognitive or intelligence, and I think we should say mas, no more. It's not enough. And the reason is that a lot of the differential value of an oil company or a medical company or a healthcare provider or a CPG company is in the specific knowledge that they have. And if we use these cloud-based providers, you're going to commoditize that next layer of value. If we go to the next slide. This is just I was thinking about this and trying to find experts. And if you know about business history, look at somebody like Andrew Carnegie, who created U.S. Steel. He would chase anyone in the world who could teach him more about steel making. And if you look at the same thing was true of Henry Ford and the creation of automobiles and their improvement. And I would say to you that this first paragraph here, embedded in organization, have thousands of processes that have value-added tasks that have resisted traditional digitization automation. And if large companies allow their vendors to get into this, I think that's fundamentally a bad thing. And so I think I'm advocating for own your own intelligence. Think of private AI. So there are certain vendors out there, Inflection being one, that have the ability to allow you to train the models on your data and to put it behind your firewall. And they'll be willing to do deals where you own the weights, where you own the source code, and so forth. And I think this is so vital to companies that they need to think about owning their own intelligence. And that won't be all the things. You'll still buy some commodity products and so forth from the cloud vendors, but to not commoditize this last source of the new forms of capital for behavioral and network. Do not give up the cognitive capital on those critical things. And if this, I think that this is true at an individual firm and competitive level. It's also true from a policy level. If do we as a society really want the cloud providers to also own cognitive capital and be even bigger and even stronger? And the organizations do not have If they don't have private AI, they won't be able to stand against the cloud providers in terms of pricing of the tokens and content of the answers. And that's a very bad place, I think, for commerce in general and society at large. So own your own intelligence is my heartfelt exhortation to anyone involved in an organization with deep knowledge.